Hello and welcome back to round 4, the fourth and final round of Object Productions Friday Night Standard. We're not playing Modern today, we're playing Standard. There are new cards in Standard. There aren't new cards in Modern. We only get a couple cards. Standard, the whole format changed. We lost 4 sets of our 8 sets, and then we gained a new one. All the decks are very different. Modern, we gained a couple cards that is in the sideboard. Green-black gets it in the main deck. That's about it. Other than that, nothing's changed. However, Standard is so much different. Jake was playing Grixis Bolas before this. Now he has to play blue-black control because the red mana consistency isn't there for the Bolas. And Austin gets to play a completely new deck. Is it Wizard Storm? So we have all the wizards from Dominaria that were pretty good, but just didn't have that little finishing part. Now they have that finisher. It's Risk Factor, and Austin is also playing Thousand Year Storm, which is also pretty good. It lets you copy cards for the number of spells you cast that turn. So Jake, I think, is favored on the first game, but Austin may be able to get him in the rest of them. So Austin is kind of like a tempo burn wizard deck. Jake is a hard blue-black control deck. We see Ritual of Soot often. Card's great. 10 out of 10 would recommend. Card's insanely good. Austin's deck doesn't have any sweepers. He's going to have trouble dealing with those large finishing creatures that Jake has. Austin's checking his Snapchat again. Snapchat, and he's like, I'm on camera, guys. Jake's like, I see you Snapchatting. Jake doesn't think it's as funny as I do, for sure. But, all right, so Austin's hand looks fine. It's a lot of lands, some ionizes. I see some good control cards in Jake's hand. So Jake is, I think Jake's hand is better here for sure, but Austin's hand isn't bad either. All right, now Austin's telling someone he's on camera. So, all right, any day now. All right. So last round we had a question right after we cut off, and I just want to address it. Where do you think value green X decks are? Green-black is the answer, because that is the best value here. There is nothing better than green-black right now in Modern. That is an opinion, of course. I think the deck was already very, very good. I think that's infinitely better now that we have Assassin's Trophy. Assassin's Trophy ties the deck together with a nice bow of Death and Destruction, which is the green-black archetype, in Modern anyway. Standard, I honestly have no idea. It is a mess. I've heard from multiple people that Assassin's Trophy sucks in Standard. They said that their opponent cast it and then they won. The table is not crooked, the mat is crooked. We'll fix that in between games, I guess. I don't know. Whenever we have a good opportunity to. Something is crooked. I don't know. It gets moved when the players bump the table. Those chairs that they sit on are wheelie chairs. And I am especially guilty of this as well. The players like to roll around, and the armrests like to bump the table and move everything. All right. So Austin's going to fire off a shock in response to Jake looking at his hand. He didn't have to do that because Jake was not going to take that card. But oh well, it doesn't matter actually. Like, Austin would have fired off that shock if he really wanted to. That shock is doing nothing in this matchup. I would have waited, but it's fine. Jake would have known about it anyway, so Jake would have played around it. Jake is pretty good at playing control. That's what he usually plays. So, all right, so here we see the Surveil card. Whenever he surveils, he gets to surveil an additional time. So his Surveil 1s turn into Surveil 2s, his Surveils 2 turn into Surveils 3, etc. See a Doom Whisper in his hand. That card's real good. Risk Factor from Jake. Jake's going to pay life. Jake's that player. Jake knows what's up, and it is paying life for Risk Factor because the rest of the Risk Factors aren't going to resolve because Austin's going to be staring down some big demons and nightmares, and Austin's not going to be able to kill those. So Jake is fine with that. Austin's playing the slow game. Austin knows what's up here. He is not going to rush out a threat for Jake to just immediately kill it or make him sacrifice it. Austin used his time to force it out. Jake's like, I know that this is going to get countered. I might as well force the Ionize out of his hand. You see a Gobbo Electro. And because that dies, the Ionize is forced out of Austin's hand. So Jake has a free turn to do whatever he wants, which is Resolve Doom Whisper, which is a pretty darn good card, if you ask me. I would go to the limits of insane. I think this card is one of the better cards in the set, for sure. This is a 6/6 flying trampler, and you get to pay 2 life and surveil 2. And because of the enchantment that Jake has, it might not be the enchantment that I think it is, actually. That's different. Okay. Jake has Disinformation Campaign in play. That's not the card I was thinking of. The card I was thinking of is when you surveil an additional time. That is not the card Jake has. Disinformation Campaign enters the battlefield. When it enters the battlefield, you draw a card, your opponent discards a card, and then when you surveil, you may bounce it. So he is just tempoing this card, making Austin lose cards. And Jake is just controlling him with that. That demon is hard to answer for Austin. Austin isn't going to be able to stop that. It's a 6/6 after all. Austin's creatures are like 2/2s, 3/3s. Steamkin isn't big enough. It's a 2/2, or it's a 1/1 right now. It's going to get... all right, so Austin's going to try and fire off Lightning Strike. Sure, Jake says. He goes to 7. Then he goes to 9 because it gets exiled by Vraska's Contempt. Jake untaps. He hits him for 6 again. Maybe plays another demon because he can. And that's kind of how Austin's game is going for him. Jake untaps. He's got 7 mana to do whatever he wants with. He's got a lot of Ritual of Soots, which is a good card, even in this matchup, because Austin can go wide if he wishes to. Austin did not have the cards to play slow, but he could have. We see a Risk Factor. I don't think he flashed back the Risk Factor yet. So he actually hit the one in the graveyard and the one in play. Although, I don't know if it matters for Austin, because Austin's so low. He's at 8. Jake is like, sure, I'll take 4, go to 5. You're not going to kill me. All right. All right. Interesting. So we flash that out with no response. Surveil 4 times.
5th land would be nice, right?
I think Austin just conceded there because he didn't draw anything that could have killed Jake. All right, so game 2. I don't know what they're boarding. Jake's deck looks fine and well equipped for this. If Jake has Duress, he might bring in Duress. He may bring in Syncopate because it hates Risk Factor extremely well. When you counter it with Syncopate, it gets exiled, so you can't jumpstart it. It actually 2-for-1s your opponent because they want to be casting that card, so they have some cards that they're willing to discard in there, and it kind of keeps those cards that they want to discard in their hand. So it's not a 2-for-1, but it's good value. You don't want your opponent to jumpstart that card. They draw excess cards, or you just take excess damage. And now it gets countered like it normally would, and with an advantage. We see sideboarding. I don't know what Austin is sideboarding, to be honest. Probably negate. Looks like 2 negates, 2 or 3. Jake is taking out his sagas.
I just think it's a bad idea.
Just a hunch says no.
Exactly.
Sorry. Friend is letting me that. He pulled 2 Doom Whispers, which is pretty darn good. The card's great. I like that card. I think Jake just trimmed a Doom Whisper, speaking of it. Jake might be going for the hard control. Oh, Jake is trimming on all of his trimmables. He's trimming Essence Scattered, Argo's Bloodfast, Ritual of Soot, the Eldest Reborn, which is very easily first trimmable card in this matchup. I think so, anyway. I would never keep that card in against Austin. Austin's creatures are too little to even get value off of it. They're 3 drops, 2 drops, when you can Moment of Craving them and kill them anyway. I would assume Austin is trimming on the stuff like 1,000 Year Storm. It's a fine card in this matchup, except for Jake has the ability to look at Austin's hand, and so he'll know what 1,000 Year Storm is coming, and he will either never let a spell resolve after it resolves, or just take 1,000 Year Storm out of his hand, wasting a card for Austin. Because Austin wants to be playing that card. All right, so Jake, we're looking at Jake's sideboard. He's bringing in negates, the Spectre. Oh, he's not bringing in Specters. He's bringing Cast Down. I think he's keeping Cast Down still. I think Cast Down is fine. He is bringing in Specters. Okay. Bringing in Specters, negates, Chemist's Trick. I think all those cards are fine. I like how Jake's sideboard is here, honestly. I'm pretty happy with it.
You just want value off.
So I wanted to talk about my favorite card, Playcrafter, in this set. Playcrafter is a 3 mana, 2 and a black, 3/2. When it enters the battlefield, each player must sacrifice a creature. If they cannot, they discard a card. So you have Playcrafter, so you get to sack Playcrafter. However, your opponent has to sacrifice a creature, and if they aren't, they have to discard a card. Playcrafter has a pure advantage that not only are you casting it and you always get to sacrifice itself, if not something else, your opponent isn't expecting them to. I derped out again. Your opponent isn't expecting to have to sacrifice something or discard a card. So you get the pure advantage. It also is each player. I intend on playing this card in Commander. It's very good. I play Reanimator Shell. Reanimating that card always feels good. Flashback Marauder always felt like a great card. This card is actually just a better Flashback Marauder. Flashback Marauders just have 3/1 zombie, 3 mana, same cost. When it enters, each player sacrifices a creature. It's actually just Playcrafter, even without the discarding effect, it's just actually a bigger creature. Now that it has more toughness and a better effect, it's actually just the best effect of that variant on a body. So I'm just happy about that card. I don't know if that card will ever see any play. I imagine it will in some control decks and standard, the mono black variant. Although there isn't much reason to play mono black when you can play black blue and just have the best deck. I think black blue going into this new standard is the best deck in the format. Granted, it still loses to heavy aggro decks that curve well. And I think the deck currently loses to its self-evolved because it's new, and control decks are hard to play off the bat. But I think this deck is very good for what it is. Control decks are not commonly this good straight off the bat. A lot of, like, the blue-white deck took like a solid month to be really good, and this card is already impressing me more than that deck ever did. He's playing one of my new favorites in the set as well. Not favorites. I think this card is just really good. For those of you that know the card Preordain, it is very similar to Preordain. Preordain says scry 2, draw a card. The card he just cast, which I cannot remember the name of, says Surveil 2, draw a card. It is 1 more mana, but it has hybrid blue-black instead of the mono-blue that Preordain was. Wizard Storm. It is Wizards with 1,000 Year Storm. It's about as accurate as the name can get. Although I believe Austin trimmed 1,000 Year Storm in this game because it's an enchantment that will get countered, so you might as well play something that's lower mana. But yeah, he wants to cast 1,000 Year Storm. He wants the flashback risk factor right away. Just came from Carning and Noob on next mage. Good job, DJ Cocoa Butter. It's been a little bit. I'm Justin, by the way. I don't think we ever talk. I'm usually behind the camera when I have to, when you're on. But here we see the disinformation campaign. Jake Standard Master Valentine and tries to defend his title tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, there will be a 3-round bout scooped by Life Lads. Thanks for tuning in for this heavyweight bout. I don't know what those words mean. Jake lost a round earlier. I don't know what he lost to. We can ask him after this. But the only player on tonight that went undefeated, we did not have on camera. I think we had every other standard player here tonight on camera that stayed for the whole time. I think we had a drop earlier and we did not have him on camera. But
so what happened?
I won't even say it. It'll be a surprise for when we have him on next week. And he doesn't. He was participating in a tournament tomorrow, so we didn't want to give away his deck, and we didn't put him on. And we'll see you next week when he has this deck because it certainly is very good. We'll see you next week. But Jake is locking Austin out of the game harshly. Jake's stabilizing at 11. He's got 10 power in play. Austin is at 8. I don't know what Austin can do. Austin can lightning streak the Sphinx, and then not die. But he isn't in a good position. He can also double shock it. I wouldn't mind double shock. Maybe triple shock. I don't know what he has in his hand. I think Austin just gives a thumbs up to the camera. Oh, okay. Austin says he's alive at 4.
President?
Trade. Shock.
You have one left in here?
Yes.
Before yours.
Double shock face. Austin is hoping to draw the kill. He drew another shock.
Damn it.
Which ain't bad, but I don't think it's enough.
You got me. It's a shock now.
Shock.
I didn't,
Play
use
Gabo.
my, your
Contempt,
vehicle,
Gabo,
I
and
tempt
you-
one of mine.
I know.
Oh, I wanted to do that so badly.
All right, so that was the 4th and final round of
No, I
tonight.
need
Jake
that.
taking the last match,
I
2-0.
was shocked.
We
you
posted
didn't
deck list. Yeah, we can. Yeah, go ahead. Go nuts. We'll try to do it.
have- Not ideally. Not,
For
like, I feel like there,
we
the
posted
fact that I
deck
was
list.
able to, you know,
Oh, he wants a deck evaluated. Yeah, go ahead. I'll take a
Yeah,
look
I
at
feel
it.
like the fact that I was able to have 10
So while we are getting that, we have a giveaway a Tuesday night at 10 p.m. For those of you that are in different time zones, it is 9:30 right now. It's 10 o'clock.
I feel like you could take
I don't think you will get auto banned. We had a link earlier today. It is 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The giveaway is
I'll give you.
on
against
Tuesday.
any of that type of, like,
I
bridge deck
worded
or-
that really weirdly. It's Tuesday at 10 p.m. And we're in Ohio, so we have the Eastern Standard Time. If you're not sure when 10 p.m. is in your area, or 10 p.m. EST is in your area, please Google it. We will give you the wrong date if we if we try and do the math. But it is 10 p.m. It is a True Name Nemesis. Your choice of edition. We get Commander Edition, Battle Bond Edition. Your choice. Which one you want? It's a True Name Nemesis Legacy staple. It's a good card. So if you for the giveaway, you get a certain amount of points. If you want to enter, do exclamation point enter, and then you will try. If you want to see your amount of points, do exclamation mark points. No point, no S at the end. If there's an S at the end, it won't work. And then that'll show you the amount of points you have. It is 20 points per entry, and you can enter up to 10 times. Goober, that doesn't work, but nice try. You can have the max entry of 10 entries. And,
No, God, I wish. This
Yeah.
side worked.
He got me.
Did it. The villain beat the hero.
there is no confirmation message on the entry, by the way.
No,
The best way to confirm is to check your points first, do the entry, then check your points afterwards. It will subtract them, so you will know.
Things and stuff.
It will say you cannot enter again if you try and enter more than the max amount of times. Like we just see now, Goober tried to enter, but he had too many entries already.
What, 4 Adelaide, 4
Yep.
matches, 4
It is points, my bad. I said the wrong thing.
Oh, the visit. That's what
It's points with an S first. I'm not good at this, if you guys can't tell. I let my other people do this. All right, Grixis Bulllots, let's go. Okay, so we see this deck, looks fine. 4 ops, 4 shocks, 2S, yeah, 2 essence, no, 3 essence scatter, 2 Search Res Canta, 2 Sinister Sabotage, which is the new Surveil counterspell, 3 Fiery Cannonade, which is the Pirate Clasm, 3 Sarkin Balls, 3 Chemister's Insight, which is the Jumpstart Draw 2, 2 Varric's Bladewing, which is the 4-drop 4/4 flyer, which brings a friend if you kick it.
Can you pass me a deck?
3 Bolasses, which is a good card from what we know. 4 Demanding Dragons, which is a great card. I love that card so much. Draft Bomb, great card. 2 Niv Mizzets. This card is great. The reason this card is not seeing so much more play is because he's hard to cast, requiring triple blue and triple red. However, he cannot be countered. He is flying. He is a 5/5. And whenever you draw a card, Niv Mizzet deals 1 damage to something, I think. I don't know what he says. I can't read it from here. But he's pretty good. Yeah, the whole card text isn't on there. Draw a card, deal 1 damage. Sweet. In the board, we see 3 negates, 2 fight with fires, 1 duress, 2 sorcerer's spyglass. Sorry, 3 duress. They were not in order. 2 sorcerer's spyglass, 3 moment of craving, and 2 Vraska's contempt. So seems pretty typical. It's a Grixis Dragons list. I like it. I don't know how it'll play. Of course, I assume because this is a picture like this, you have it, like you own it. So I would like to know how it plays. It looks fine to me. I really don't know how the new standard format is going to play. Sarkin lets you play those heavy costed dragons, and your curve is already not very high. I like it. I think it's fine. I would like to play that deck, actually. That deck looks pretty sweet. The Grixis mana base is pretty good right now. You have 2 shocklands of each. So you can have the Watery Graves, you can have the
Game 1, he turns to 1.
God, Steam Vents. I almost call them Is It Boilerworks, which is the bounce land. I like this list. I don't know. You don't seem to have a lot of counter spells, which I think are very good right now. Risk factor and stuff like that is going to be a nuisance. Sarkin lets you cast everything. He does. I do like Sarkin very much. He does loot, or rummage, if you will. Rummage is discard, then draw. I think he's fine. I don't think Sarkin got enough credit in Core 19. I think he was still pretty good.
What's your legacy deck?
He's very good in this deck, especially when you can play dragons immediately to help protect him. You get someone in chat saying they want to play blue-white control or blue-black tempo. I want to play blue-black tempo, right? Personally, I think that card is very good. Or not card. God, I can't talk tonight. I'm so tired. Sorry. I'm a tired boy, but I think blue-black tempo looks really good. That's the deck that I personally want to play. I don't want to have to pay for those expensive cards, though. So I'm going to wait a little bit, see if Doom Inspector goes down a little bit. If it's not, maybe I won't play that deck. I might play mono green, because I owned that deck. I owned the previous standard version. I don't know. I am looking forward to what the format becomes. I am not looking forward to having to buy Pelt Collectors. I am not having to look forward to buying Doom Whisper. I am looking forward to having to buy Ritual of Soot, which I think I will actually buy my playset after this, because that card is so good, and there's no way it can stay at $3. It is clearly one of the best sweepers ever. I don't know what other decks there are. There's green-white tokens list. I have not seen one yet, but I've heard it's pretty good from all the people that have playtested it. I know a couple workers at the store were working on it. I know some other friends were working on it. It looks pretty good with the new Luxodon with the Convoke, so you are out of Chain Whirler range very easily. But with that being said, be sure to follow our Twitch page, subscribe to it so we actually can get viewership, and like our Facebook, follow our YouTube, so you can see our videos. They're posted pretty quickly. It's youtube.com/TopDeckProductionsStream. And with that being said, I have been Justin Blackburn. Thank you very much for watching. This has been a solo commentary stream. It could have gone so much worse. Thanks for watching. I'm Justin Blackburn. I'll see you next time.